What do you want and how do you get it? Great question. What do you want and how do you get it? What do you want your life to look like if it doesn't look the way you want it to at the moment? And the 4 questions that I always ask at Romax are you healthy, fit and strong? Do you have a career or business that you love? Are you financially free? And have you got great people in your life to share all of that with, especially your relationship with yourself? So the number 3 there, which is the money, the finances, the security that you don't have to worry about money, how do you make sure that that happens? And it's a great question because there's a lot of miserable, grumpy people who are wealthy. So does money make you happy? Of course not. But there's been an interesting statement that I hear quite regularly is I've been rich and I've been poor, I've been happy and unhappy, and I'd rather be unhappy and rich than unhappy and poor. And the reason for that, of course, is that when you've got money challenges, when you can't afford to do the things that you need to do, want to do, do you feel restricted? And that's what I love about that. Instead of saying wealthy, I just like that concept of having freedom and choice to do the things that you want to do. So how do you make sure that you can be financially free? And you can. There's millions of books and seminars and workshops and podcasts and all that. There's lots of information about how to be wealthy. But as a young girl, for me, it was a really interesting headspace because that was something that was important to me. I'd watch people argue about money. I'd watch people fight about money. I watched what happened to people that didn't have any money. And I decided at 13 years of age that I wanted to be financially free, that I didn't have to be worried about money. Now, when you're a young girl, when you're a teenager, how do you work all of that out by yourself? So I looked at the people that were financially free, and there's lots of those in the world. There's lots of people with money, and I'll share it again. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy, and it certainly doesn't mean that they're healthy and fit and strong, but there are lots of wealthy people in the world. And one of the things that I noticed very carefully, and it's something that I've been studying, analysing, researching since I was 13, because it was really important to me to be financially free, is that money goes to the people that add value. So whatever it is that you do to earn a living, that you do to earn money. So you could be in business, you could have a job, you could have a career. You could be a doctor, a lawyer, an architect, an engineer because you've been to university to get those degrees. You could be an artist, a sports person, a musician. There's lots of ways to make money. And I just hope that whatever you're doing to make money is something that you're really passionate about. And that's an interesting question to ask, because is it possible that if you do what you're passionate about, you keep getting better at it, and you add massive value to people's lives, that you will make money? Whoa! But the interesting thing there is whether you work for someone else or whether you own your own business, what are the skills that you need to make sure that you can complete that beautiful, what I call the sweet spot? So are you doing what you're the most passionate about? Are you getting better at it? And how are you adding massive value to people's lives? So if you own your own business, this is a no-brainer, of course. You have to know how to run the business. You have to have business skills. You have to know how to market a business, start a business, grow a business, have a sales system for a business, have a customer service system for a business, have risk management systems for a business, have good accounting practices, have good attractment recruitment processes. There's a lot of things to learn about business. But what I learned really quickly, and I'm coming at you as an intrapreneur, not an entrepreneur. I've never started a business, but I've gone into literally thousands of businesses starting when I was 10 years of age and helped that business grow. Because what I learned really quickly is that if you don't have business skills, I wasn't very valuable to a business. And depending on which business you work in, but I'll ask the question in a different way. If you go into a business, whether it's as a job or a salary or career or a contractor, and you help that business grow financially, so you bring more customers, members, clients, patients, whatever it is, and you help the business become more successful financially and even philosophically, so the business becomes better because of you, will you be more valuable to the business? And that's what I learned very young. Now, so at 10 years of age, where somebody wanted to pay me money to work for them, I thought, well, I could be more valuable if I learn how to run this business by myself, so that the person that owns the business can go and do business somewhere else. I'll work here, make money for them. They can go somewhere else and make money, and the profits will be doubled. Now, I don't know if that's in my DNA or if that's just a genius I have, but I figured that out at 10 years of age. So at 13, when I knew that I wanted to be an exercise professional, it was just a matter of How do I become the best exercise professional possible, which is, of course, helping people to be healthy, fit and strong, and applying that to their lifestyle? For me, that's, again, a simple process. Get people fit, get people strong, and make sure that it suits their lifestyle. And now we're going to have a successful career path as an exercise professional, as a personal exercise coach. But I'm sure you've met many people who are really passionate about their talent or their skill, their craft, but they're not very good at business. And that's something that I had to learn really quickly, because I ran away from home when I was not quite 15, and I had to make money for myself. And again, I never started a business, but I realised that if I wanted to be a top-level exercise professional, it wasn't just about teaching people to be healthy, fit and strong and staying that way for the rest of their life and applying it to their lifestyle. I needed to add value to other people's businesses, because I didn't have my own business. So and it's a skill, and the beautiful thing about the word skill is that you can learn it. Even if you're not good at business, the fundamentals and foundations of good business practice are, to me, common sense and logical and simple. But also, one of the reasons why the Max International Colleges is not just a fitness college. Yes, we train people to be top-level exercise professionals, personal exercise coaches, help people to be fit, help people to be strong and stay that way for the rest of their life in a way that will fit into their lifestyle. That's a given. But if you want to have a successful business doing that, if you want to have a successful career doing that, and I'll go a step further, if you want to have a successful business or career doing anything, is it important, would it be important to have good business skills? Now, again, if you've got your own business, that is a no-brainer. You have to be able to run a business. Otherwise, you'll go broke and then you have to go back and get a lousy, stinking, rotten job. But if you work for somebody else, my question is always this. If I have the skills, the knowledge, the understanding of how to start a business, grow a business, increase the cash flow, increase the profit, add more members, clients, customers to that business, will I be more valuable to the business, and could that mean that I earn more money? And that's why I asked the question at the start, what do you want and how are you going to get it? And you might not want to have your own business. It might sound too complicated, too hard. But the process of working for someone else and adding value to somebody else's business so that you can earn more money, could that include business skills? If you know how to market a business to bring in more customers, clients, members, patients, is it possible that you'll be more valuable to that business than the person that can't do that? So, and I'll use exercise, being an exercise professional, as an example, and I'll go to the end of the story before the beginning. I got a telephone call from a journalist, a reporter in Australia, and he said to me, Rowie, I'm calling you because you're one of the richest people in Australia under the age of 40. I said, that's awesome. How much am I worth? He thought that was a joke, and he thought it was funny that I didn't know that I was wealthy. I share that with you because my driving force has never been money. And a lot of people share that with me. Oh, money's not important to me. I'm not asking you to make money important to you. I asked you the original question, which is, what do you want and how are you going to get it? So however you want to live your life, what are the finances that you need to make sure that you can do that? And for some people, that's $500 a week. For some people, that's $5,000 a week. I have people in my life that can't live with less than $500,000 a week. They have very high expenses, and the way they live their life is a little bit different. But isn't that great to be able to have a choice? If you want to go camping versus get a private jet, wouldn't it be nice to have a choice, particularly if you got stuck camping and you had an accident and the only way to get the hell out of there was in a private jet? Wouldn't it be nice to have the choice? So I'm just going to lay that out there, that money gives us freedom and choice. If you are very, very wealthy, you don't have to spend the money on yourself. You can give it to charity. You can apply it to the causes that are important to you. You can save communities. You can save countries. You can make and invent great things. There's a whole heap of stuff you can do with money, but you've got the freedom and choice to do it. If you're always struggling for money, if you never have enough money, and I always use the example of oxygen. In any room right now, wherever you are, whether you're inside or outside, your body needs oxygen to survive. It's one of those things that if we don't do it, we die. And we die pretty quickly without oxygen, yeah? So if all of a sudden the oxygen was cut off from you right now, whether you're inside or outside, and you couldn't breathe, is it possible that the only thing that you'd be thinking about was, where can I get my next breath? I have to breathe because otherwise I'm going to die. And my analogy for that is I work with a lot of people who live their lives like that financially. They're living waiting for the next cent, for the next dollar, and if that dollar doesn't come, then their life is very ordinary. It's like I can only think about money because if I don't have enough money, I don't have food on the table, or I can't pay the electricity bill, or I can't pay the mortgage, or I can't buy food and clothes for my kids. And that's one of the reasons why Romax exists. I don't want people to live like that. Wouldn't it be nice to have freedom and choice so that you, even if you don't want to use the money yourself for your family, for your friends, for your community, you could choose what to do with that money. Give it away. I was taught this at a very young age. Rowie, become wealthy, not because of the money, but because of who you have to become wealthy. And a lot of people think, oh, wealthy people are horrible. Well, I'll give you a different headspace for that. Is it possible that if you are a horrible person and you become wealthy, you'll just be a wealthy, horrible person? Is it possible that if you're a beautiful, gorgeous, kind, respectful, lovely person, that when you become wealthy, you'll just be a wealthy, kind, gorgeous, respectful, loving person? I don't think that money should change us. And maybe it does. Maybe you've seen that happen. But maybe the person that's become a horrible person when they became wealthy, maybe they weren't that nice when they were broke or when they were poor either. That's just something to consider. So what do you need? What's the amount of money that you need to live financially free? And as I shared before, for some people that's 500, for some people it's 5,000, for some people it's 500,000, and for some people it's probably 5 million. I can't live without $5 million every week. So with that choice in mind, what do I need to do to make that happen? And again, on my research, analysis, study, all of my life since the age of, 10 really, because I started working when I was 10, it's very obvious that if you've got business skills, if you know how to grow a business. Now, a lot of people think that business is, I have a shop, or I have a department store, or I have a lawyer's practice. Or how about we think about business like this? I have a product or a service which I want to share with the world in exchange for money. And that could mean that you are a sports person. It could mean that you're a musician. It could mean that you're an actor. You could be a dancer, an artist, a landscape gardener, a builder, a car mechanic. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, product or service that you're giving out to the world, do you want an exchange of that product or service to come back to you in money? And if that is the definition of business, and I go one step further with my favorite definition of business, is that you choose your own hours, you are your own boss, you earn the amount of money that you want to earn, you go on holidays when it suits you, and you work with the people who you want to work with. And for me, that's the most beautiful part of business. And wouldn't it be great if we all lived our lives like that? Here's the interesting question though. Do you have to own your business to live like that, or own your own business? And my answer is living, breathing, standing here in front of you. Hell no. Because what I've done is gone into other people's businesses and made them grow. So the point of this whole conversation and the questions that I'm asking is, if you don't have business skills, how can you add value to your own business? You can't. You'll probably go broke. And that's what happens to most people who have a passion for a business and they want to add massive value to people's lives and they want to be good at what they do, but they just don't have the business skills to do it. You can't just be a great exercise professional if you want to own a gym, have an online business for fitness, if you want to have a boot camp, if you want to have an exercise studio. You have to have business skills. If you work for somebody else, the only way to earn more money is to be more valuable to the business. If you're not valuable to the business, why would anybody want to pay you any money, let alone and more money than what you're getting at the moment? If you're not adding value to a business, is it possible that they're aiming to get rid of you? That you are not valuable to us. We're working out a way to get rid of you. And I sound harsh, but I'm doing that on purpose. If you add profit to a business, if you add cash flow to a business, if you help the business grow, if you have business skills for marketing, sales, customer service, risk management, recruitment, all of the things that make a great business, if you understand those, is it possible that you could have that definition? Again, I'll share it because it's my favorite and I've lived my life like this. Choose your own hours, be your own boss, earn the amount of money that you want to earn, go on holidays when it suits you, and work with the people that you want to work with. Now that's been my entire life and I've never owned a business. Well, technically I have, because I've treated every business that I've gone into like it was my very own, including when I came to the Max International Colleges. K-Man started the colleges in 1989, so I've been around a very long time. I didn't start the business I came into the college with passion and enthusiasm and excitement for helping people to become top-level exercise professionals, and the 4 things that I'm here for every day with Romax, and the 4 things that are the Max program, which is how do I help people to be healthy, fit and strong and stay that way for the rest of their life? How do I become financially free doing something that I absolutely love? And how do I have great communication skills with all the people in my life, members, clients, customers, family, friends, and with myself, so that I have this great life? And I'll go back to my very original question, which is what do you want and how are you going to get it? And is it possible that whatever you want, if you are healthy, fit and strong and you stay that way for the rest of your life with energy, enthusiasm, excitement for life, that you're more likely to achieve anything that you want to achieve? If you're doing what you're passionate about in your career or your business, is it more likely that you'll be financially free? And if you are adding value to people's lives and your product or service is valuable to people, is it possible that you need the skills to communicate effectively, but people are more likely to want to do business with you because your product or service is going to add value to their life? Now, I can rattle all of that off pretty easily because that's been my driving force my whole life. But it's also successful business. And when you apply that to any business, that's when the business becomes successful. Do what you're passionate about. Keep getting better at what you do at business and whatever the product or service is, and make sure that that product or service is adding value to people's lives. And just as an interesting side note, you might have a great product or service, but if you don't market it effectively, sell it effectively, have great customer service, is it possible that people, whatever product or service you've got, people might go and buy it from someone else because you don't know how to effectively deliver it to the marketplace? So very personally, that's why if you are a Max exercise professional and you thought to yourself, I just want to be an exercise professional, I don't want to have my own business, that's why you have access to the Max Business Diploma. The Max Business Diploma is a standalone international business diploma that gives you all the skills, tools and knowledge that you'll need to own your own business and or be very valuable to somebody else's business. And I asked this question with a bit of hesitation, because that's one of the questions that I always ask people that have done an international business degree at university, or that they have a degree that says, I've studied business. And I always ask, do you know how to start a business, grow a business, market a business, sell the product or service effectively? Do you have good attractment, recruitment skills? Do you know how to risk manage the business? Do you know how to make sure that the business is financially secure? And unfortunately, most people that I ask that question who have done an international business degree at university start going purple in the face. And then I say, well, why did you do the degree? And they say, oh, well, so I could get a job. But then my next question is, if you're going to get a job in somebody else's business, would it be a really good idea to know how to market the business, make sales, have great customer service skills, have great risk management skills, be able to attract other people into the business and help the business grow? Whoa, that's what the Max program is all about. So yes, we train top-level exercise professionals and personal exercise coaches to have their own business and or be very valuable to somebody else's business. And I'm sharing that with you again because if you are a sports person, for example, it doesn't matter how good you are at your sport. If you can help the sporting franchise to grow, if you're good at marketing. So if you look at Formula One or rugby league or football, soccer, rugby union, netball, hockey, all of the international sports, even something like UFC, for example, which is a huge business. The people that make the most money in any of those sports are the ones who are really good at marketing themselves, the product, the business, the merchandise, the ticket sales. If you can bring more money into a sport, then you become more valuable to the sport. And that isn't about being able to kick a long way or be able to punch really hard or to be able to tackle really well. That's all about business. So what is it that you want and how are you going to get it? Whatever skill or talent or genius that you've got, would it be really a clever idea to add to that business skills? And again, I'm standing in front of you as a very passionate businesswoman who never wanted to be a businesswoman. It was never my idea, I want to be a billionaire. It was always about, I want to be an exercise professional, and wherever I go, I want to add massive value. If I'm working at a health club, if I'm the manager of a health club, if I have personal exercise coaching clients, if I'm teaching group exercise classes, and I'll just use that as another example. And when I first started teaching group exercise, I wasn't even yet 15 years of age. And I needed to earn money to earn a living because that was going to be my sole source of income. But nobody wanted to employ me because I wasn't even 15 yet, and I didn't have any skills, but I had a stack of passion and a big drive. So when the very first health club that I went to where I needed a full-time position and they were never going to employ me, I simply said, please don't pay me any money. I'll teach all my classes for free. Just give me $1 for every extra person that I bring to the classes that you give me, the ones that I'm going to teach for free. And I tell this story often, but the first class they gave me was a Sparkle Day Sunday morning. The average number of people coming to that class was 3. What that meant was sometimes there was 10 and sometimes there was none. But the average number was 3. So if 3 people came to the class, I didn't earn any money. If 4 people came to the class, I earned $1. So I had to learn very quickly how to market a business. And I'll go another step further. I couldn't rely on the gym to market that class for me, because that obviously their marketing wasn't working because the average number of people coming to that class was 3. So whatever they were doing to market the class wasn't working. I needed to learn how to market. I needed to learn how to sell myself. I needed to learn how to do great customer service so that I could grow that class. And to cut a very long story short, that class went from 3 to 13 to 23 to 103. And I ended up being one of the highest paid group exercise instructors, I think, in Australia. And because I've travelled the world and taught group exercise around the world, in Europe, the UK, North America, Australia and New Zealand, I think at the time I was the highest paid group exercise instructor, perhaps on the planet, because I had to learn business skills. And my skills for teaching classes, I don't think were that good. Obviously, as I taught more classes, I got better and better. But I learned the business skills of caring about people, being genuine, great customer service. And again, a very long story short, but I learnt people's names. I found out what their favourite drink was, their favourite lolly, their favourite music. I would write handwritten notes. I'd invite them to seminars and workshops that I would run after my classes. I loved what I did and I just wanted to keep getting better at it. And for me, that is business. Do what you're the most passionate about. Keep getting better at it. Add massive value to people's lives. That's the definition for me, the sweet spot of living your life. That's the definition of a successful business. That's the definition of what a great way to wake up every day. I'm doing what I love. I keep getting better at it and I'm adding massive value to my world. And here's my question. Could that include, or would it be really important to include business skills with that? So my final question, do you know how to start a business, grow a business, market a business, make sales in a business, attract great people into the business, whether it's customers or clients or team players? Do you know how to look after a business from a risk management perspective? Do you know how to look after a business from a financial perspective? And if you have all of those skills, is it possible that you'll be very valuable to somebody else's business? And how can you have a business, your own business, if you don't have those skills? And that's what the Max College is all about. It's a business diploma to make sure that you have all the skills that you need to do whatever business that you want. So thank you for coming to Romax. All about being healthy, fit and strong, having a career or business that you love, being financially free and having great people in your life to share it with. But ultimately, and I always ask this question, when you look in your mirror at the end of the day, and you don't have to look in the mirror, maybe just ask yourself the question, am I doing what I love? Am I being rewarded for it? Do I love what I do every day? Is it adding massive value to my life and other people's lives? And if I can say yes, is it possible that I'll be a really happy person and I'll be living my life to the max? Super duper doo, how are you? May you have a career or business that you love. Woohoo!